SCCRESA TV presents in 3, 2, 1, Dateline Schools with your host, Terry Harrington.
Local educators recently had the privilege of participating in the 8th annual 21st Century Learning Symposium to learn how to better impact our students' learning and teaching. And this week on Dateline Schools, I had the privilege of talking with one of the keynote speakers at this year's symposium, author Will Richardson. And Will, do you see that as a trend, not only here in our country, but around the world too?
I wouldn't say it's a huge trend. I think that the good news is in the last 6 months or so, I've actually come across a growing number of schools who have kind of reached that conclusion that what they're doing in the traditional sense isn't preparing kids for this kind of new landscape that they're going to be living in, and that they are willing to grapple with those bigger questions, but also, most importantly, really articulate a vision that looks different from that traditional narrative that we tell around schools, that it is about inquiry, it's about questions, not answers, it's about problem solving, real world problems, not contrived problems in the back of the chapter, or not the same problems that we've been asking for decades. So that's interesting to me. All of a sudden, it seems like now people are kind of waking up to that conversation, and they're beginning to really focus on, well, what is the new vision that we have for schools, and then how do we make that vision, how do we make that happen in classrooms using technology, which in many ways can amplify those opportunities.
I think you made a point too, if you can expound out a little bit here, is how do we do this in a setting where everything's politically driven, core curriculum, got to have the state test, how do we make that change?
Well, it's really hard. There's no question. This is not an easy thing to do, but I think it starts with individual teachers in individual classrooms, finding even moments where they can begin to do things differently, where they can begin to give kids more opportunities to pursue the things they're interested in, to use the technologies that they're carrying around. And again, I think it's just crucial right now that as kids leave us on graduation day, that they're prepared to learn in an ongoing way, in a more complex way. And I think we just have to find opportunities to do that in classrooms. No one is expecting people, teachers, districts to change everything tomorrow, right? But I think that, again, we have to articulate a different vision, and then we have to begin to find places within the constraints that we have coming from the state and elsewhere. We have to find places within those constraints to do things differently and to at least give our kids a taste of what that looks like.
We'll be back with more tomorrow. For Dateline Schools, I'm Terry Harrington.